Oh, God. Well then, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Seven, you get first. It's been an international break that we probably wish was shorter for me as a Liverpool fan. For others, probably couldn't be long enough. But I am joined here today to talk about Liverpool, Everton, Arsenal, Man City. We've got Neil. Evening. We've got John.
Hi.
And we've got Alvin. So we've got a Liverpool fan and an Everton fan sitting right next to each other.
Yeah, that's good.
And we don't actually hate each other. I suppose that's the extent of the Merseyside derby rivalry as well there. But top of the league, it's early days.
Yep.
How does it feel to see Everton actually good?
Well, to be honest with you, I've never really experienced it. I was born in 1986 when Everton were, at the peak, and they were winning the league and win FA Cups and European Cups and stuff. And then I think basically me being born was Everton's demise. But yeah, no, it's an amazing feeling. It's really good. And I think the international break actually came at the wrong time. I think we just wanted to kick on, keep going. And that break and players going over to bloody Colombia or wherever they're going, it didn't really help. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it.
It's not like there's a global pandemic going
on. No, of course not. Yeah, that'd be stupid to think that, wouldn't it? Yeah, but so it's absolutely wonderful. Such a good feeling.
What do you think of the actual makeup of the side? Because you've got the world class manager.
Yeah.
And now you've got in James Rodriguez someone who can completely change a game.
It's really funny. I actually thought in the summer, what we should have done is we should have strengthened the defence. Okay, that was my main thought. Was like, right, we're conceding a lot of goals. Right, let's strengthen that defence, and he hasn't. He's brought in 3 midfielders, and he's actually not brought in any defenders. Yeah. Well, he's actually just brought in Ben Godfrey from Norwich, but that's because we had injuries in the defence. Them three players in the midfield has completely changed the way Everton play. Yeah. It's actually, now you look at the defence now and you go, actually the defence is not that bad. So he's done wonders. He really is, and obviously being Carlo Ancelotti, he's got the say on what players he brings. Really, Rodriguez wouldn't have went to Everton. No. He wouldn't have, would he? No chance. And I'm really happy. I think he's the best sign in the Premier League this season.
How would they have sold that to him? It's like, James, got this deal for you. Where are you playing? England. Yeah, we're one of the big cities.
Oh God, rains every day. Yeah, welcome to Liverpool. Oh God, yeah.
I was going to say the additions of Decore and Allen just ring true, and I remember hearing about how good Patrick Vieira was for Tony Adams when he first joined. That Tony Adams didn't have to do any running. That entire back four had someone who was in front of them that could do all of it for them, and they could stay a little bit deeper. Now, I wanted to also add this point, again, it's 4 games into the season, and it could sound completely far-fetched, but there's a feel of a Leicester City in them in terms of it's a small squad. Yep. You've got that mercurial talent out wide in terms of the Mahrez and the Rodriguez. You've got 2 functional midfielders who are just there to smash and destroy and to get play going on as well in terms of was it Drinkwater and Kante. You've got that with Decore and you've got that with Allen. Yep. And then you've got the mercurial striker who's just everything he touches turns to gold right now.
Especially in the air.
And the idea that Carlo wanted to make him the English Inzaghi, where it doesn't matter if it comes off his shoulders. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's from 2 yards out, he'll just type it in.
Yeah, and Carlo said to him, he said, I want you to work on your one-touch finishing. I want you to get, regardless of where you are, just have a shot. As soon as it comes to you, hit it. If you're inside the box, hit it. Don't take 20 touches. Don't play like Arsenal. Just get it in the back of the net. And it's worked this season. It's worked, and he's scored in his debut for England. I thought he was an average player. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I thought he was a really average player. Yeah, and it just shows you having players like Rodriguez and Richarlison on either side, that the chances are going to be there. And Carlo's got faith in him, and he's doing wonders.
Is he in your fantasy team, Neil?
No, he's not. I've got any players in mind. My concern with Everton is at the opposite end of the pitch. It's the goalkeeping situation.
Yeah.
They've brought in somebody on loan now. Pickford is the master of the spectacular, but doesn't necessarily do the basics well. We all know he's a great distributor of the ball. His kicking's phenomenal and always been the case, but he just makes too many mistakes.
He's got little hands, mate.
You know, well, that's it.
Little arms it was.
He's challenged in that department, but you're looking at
Yeah.
trying, if you're serious about a title challenge, you look at the goalkeepers that have won the Premier League over the last few seasons, going right back to even the aforementioned Arsenal team, United, whoever it may have been. They always had a solid, really strong goalkeeper. Is Jordan Pickford the type of goalkeeper that's going to keep enough clean sheets to win you the league?
No.
Will he get you into the top 4?
Yeah. What we need is if you score more than your opposition.
Well, it's Kevin Keegan's Newcastle. You know,
Exactly.
it's that sort of
And
thing.
I think that's why Carlo's not really addressed it and brought in someone that is going to be ahead of Pickford.
He's brought it to the challenge.
This Olsen, yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about him. I've never really heard of him, to be honest. I didn't even know he was Swedish. But yeah, I don't think he's really had the need to address it because we are scoring. We're scoring more than the opposition, and when Pickford is messing up, he's messing up when we're 2-0 up. So it's not really.
Yeah, I think that's good at the start of the season when you've got the momentum. But if you drop a game or two in the busy Christmas period, frailty start to show. And that's where your squad depth gets tested.
Joe Hart for you.
Pretty much exactly like that.
Yeah.
And you look at the teams that are in Europe. So Everton will obviously benefit from not having that massive Champions League distraction this season. So it'll stand them in good stead. But again, that busy Christmas period, you pick up a couple of injuries, goalkeeper drops a clanger. You start to ask questions, and that's where you're looking at both squad depth and competition for places. And by bringing in a goalkeeper to challenge Pickford, they've addressed it to a point. But if he's only on a level and on a par with Pickford, I just don't know if it's going to be enough to be there.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing Everton have in their advantage right now, and I said this earlier, is there's no crowd. There's no there's no fan. And I say this because like football fans in general, like the medium football fan is a crazy person, right? Like your average bang on football fan is a crazy person. But your average Everton football fan is such a crazy person that Ronald Koeman couldn't have any red things in his house during Christmas.
Yeah, that's definitely right.
That's
my friends wouldn't. I've got a red car. Like,
Oh no!
I know my friends hate me for it. It's just the colour of a car, isn't it?
Don't tell Tomo that. Like.
So if you've got those kind of fans in the ground and Pickford drops a clanger, the anxiety that's going to come out from the crowd is going to absolutely go into the players. If it's ever 1-0, you ever go 1-0 down, and that's going to come into the fans. So the longer that, I feel anyway, the longer that you could keep Evertonians out of that stadium, I reckon you've got a really good chance.
You're not wrong. Yeah, you're really not. I'm guilty of it. As soon as one little mistake in the game, I pick up on it. I'll shout, "Oh, come on!" You know what I mean? I don't want to swear, but I do swear when I'm at the ground a lot. A lot of colourful language, put it that way. So yeah, it is benefiting teams like Everton, who are very local. All their fans are from a local area. From a rough city. It is a rough city.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a really good point that you touch on there. Yeah.
Do you guys not help but feel that Carlo Ancelotti could have a plan B? Like, this guy's won the Premier League, he's won the Bundesliga, he's won the Champions League, he's won so many things, and I can't help but feel maybe he's got something up his sleeve. He hasn't shown all his cards yet. 100%. 100%.
That's not even up for debate. It's, and he's starting to put his stamp on the team by bringing in those players. And as I mentioned, Everton are not getting James Rodriguez and even Alan. Carlo Ancelotti. If David Moyes is the manager or David Unsworth is pulling the strings, it just does not happen. So
100%.
You're getting these big name guys in, and while we've mentioned that Pickford may cost them points, someone like Ancelotti wins you points.
Exactly.
And bringing in those players. So having that big name coach, having somebody who's a global recognised name. James Rodriguez wanted to play for him. He didn't want to play for Everton. Let's be real.
That's true.
I had the same with City when they were first kicking things off. Even when Sven-Goran Eriksson came in, now he was a bit of a bravado of a coach, but he was a name, and people wanted to play for him. And players knew who Sven-Goran Eriksson was from his time at Lazio, his time in England, and you were relying because your team hasn't had a reputation for years, hasn't won anything for a long time. You need that point of difference to bring in those players, and sometimes it can be money and paying the biggest wages, but other times it's the coach. You may pay a lot of money for him. It's Bielsa effect that leads players to play for.
Well said.
On that note, boys, prediction: Liverpool versus Everton. Sorry, Everton versus Liverpool. Goodison Derby. It's important. I'm going to go this way.
Okay.
Definitely both teams to score with the goalkeeping situations.
Of course. Yeah, we haven't touched on that, have we?
Alyson's out. So
Alisson's got out, yeah.
I reckon there's going to be goals, and I'll go with a 2-2 draw.
Right.
Jesus.
I believe that we'll win the midfield battle, and if we win that midfield battle, we should finally get a derby win. So I'm going to go for it'll be definitely goals. You're right, but I'm going to go for like maybe 3 or 4-2 Everton.
Do you remember the last Everton win at Goodison?
Was it 2010?
It was 2010.
Yeah, I can't remember who scored. Was it Tim Cahill or something?
It was Tim Cahill.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah,
and it was Roy Hodgson's Liverpool.
Right. We were probably lucky as well, weren't we?
I'm going to zag when you guys zig and say a boring 1-1 draw.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's a boring game because Carlo Ancelotti has never played, even at his time at Napoli, he's never played a Jurgen Klopp team in an expansive way. He's always shut it down. He's gone 4 and he's gone really narrow with the 4 in the midfield, and he's always won the midfield battle, and it's always been like a 1-0 or a 0-0. And even the last time we played at Everton at Goodison, again it was 0-0. And the last time we tried to play an expansive game, our kids beat you guys first.
Yeah, oh, that was embarrassing. No two ways about it. That was really embarrassing. But
honestly, I think it's going to be a bit of a madness. I think Klopp will still persist with the high line, and I feel they'll get exposed. I still feel Liverpool get goals, so it could be a 5-2 or it could be a 4-3 for me.
I just also want to finish the segment off that the last times Liverpool have been knocked out or lost the Champions League games, our goalkeeper literally rolled the ball to the striker for the first one and then passed the ball to the striker in the second game. Wow. So you might be right, Neil.
I think you're 100% right.
Talk about Manchester United, but he's sick. So we've got the next best thing, another big game this weekend, and it's Man City versus Arsenal. It's the first time Arsenal playing Man City again after the FA Cup game. It's Arteta coming back to the Etihad as well. Boys, how are we feeling about this game?
Yeah, not good. Etihad hasn't been exactly the happiest of hunting grounds for Arsenal. We've been off a couple of lashings, which is not fun to say. However, we do have a new coach who understands Pep, but I feel Pep's in himself going through a transition. So whatever.
Is he going through a midlife crisis?
I mean, I wouldn't say a midlife crisis, but he's definitely he's going through a learning phase again. Which once he gets it, it's a scary thing. However, whatever happens from this game, it's hard to tell if it's going to make a difference to our situation in the league. But the pressure's on City.
Pressure's on City?
I just don't think City are particularly good at the moment. It's that lack of a central striker that's a problem. I thought they might have looked to address that even with a loan signing from somewhere at the end of the transfer window, but no moves made there. No Aguero, no Vardy, because you look at what happened with Leeds, the Leeds game, it was a midfield of De Bruyne, Foden, and then a front three of Mahrez, Sterling, and Ferran Torres. So there's a lot of creators there, but where's your person to get on the end of it? There was a lot of passing the ball around with no substance, and that's probably been the issue. Even Gabriel Jesus isn't the most clinical of strikers. It just seems that there's a lot of weight on Aguero's shoulders. He's back in training, but it's a few weeks before he'll be back. And I just don't think City are as daunting a prospect when they don't have a player playing on the shoulder of the last defender. Against Leeds, Mahrez started as a central striker. Now Mahrez is going to drop to receive the ball in a 10 spot, turn and run to the defence. As a back four, that's fine. There's no risk of him getting behind you. Whereas Aguero will play in the shoulder of the centre back. Any slip, any dodgy header, Aguero's in there and he'll pounce on it. And it's also someone that you can slide the ball across the 6-yard box to.
Yeah.
That's not the sort of thing that Mahrez, Sterling was drifting out to the left. Torres was trying to take fullbacks on the outside. Where's your central striker? Where's your target? And I think until they address that, they're going to be quite easy to play against. And I think Arteta will be quite happy to play against a strikerless City.
It's almost a two-pronged thing because that lack of central striker actually hampers Sterling as well, because he was top goal scorer last year and he's just been getting more and more and more goals. Now, if he's not your central focus point, can you have him out wide on the right? Can you have him out wide on the left and not have that person?
I think that Sterling just attracts more attention when you don't have Aguero, because you know that's where the goals are going to come from. So you look at De Bruyne can be productive, but a lot of it was from set pieces, and now he's taking some penalties as well. But you take Sterling out of the team as well as Aguero, and where would the next highest score be? He'd be looking at single figures, and that's from a top team. So it's Sterling is a very important player, and you're right. It depends on where you play him. Once Aguero's back in the side, but I don't think he's droppable. I think he's too productive, and then you're looking at a toss-up. Like, where's Bernardo Silva these days? He's back in training.
What's happened to Bernardo Silva?
He was injured for a little bit and was out of favour for nobody knows what reasons. Haven't a clue. But yeah, he's again another player that plays in that 4-2-3-1 or the 4-1. You know, that setup where you have your holding midfielder and then you've got your creators in front. He's just going to add to the mix of what they've already got. It's not going to be something different. And what they're lacking at the moment is something different in the forward line. Yeah, I think that's just going to be to their detriment, because what happened against Leeds is the game should have been out of sight by half time. But the longer it's 1-0, the more pressure you put in your defence. And I'm sure you guys know that from playing yourselves.
Yeah.
You play as a defender. If your teammates are not scoring down the far end and it's 1-0, there's more pressure on you. If you're 3 or 4-0 up and you make a mistake, well, okay, we conceded 1 goal, who cares? But that's what happened with Leeds. Ederson made a bit of a clanger from the corner. Leeds score for 1, all their tails are up, and they possibly could have gone on and won it. They had more shots on target. If City are 2 or 3-0 up at half time, that clanger doesn't matter, you still go out and win the game. So I think what's happening at the top end of the pitch is having an impact on back of the pitch, and you're throwing in a centre half who hasn't played before as well. So it's a bit of a mess, and I would expect Arsenal to get a result.
So surprised you guys didn't sign Koulibaly. That was a big shock for me.
Money and all that.
Sorry, say that one more time and say it slower.
It's city tax. You know, if somebody's looking for 40 million and City come along, they'll say, oh, it's actually 60 for you. So you are looking at that, and as much as City do throw the cash around, there has to be a point where you just go, no, see you later. Good luck. We'll look elsewhere. You can't have teams completely taking you to the cleaners for it. So yeah, look, they brought in Diaz. He had a good game. He'll balance out the centre backs a bit better because Ake and Laporte are both left-footed. So Diaz comes in. He's a right-sided centre back, which will work quite well. But the full backs are massive issues. Kyle Walker is not as good as he was. And Mendy has been absolutely terrible when he's not injured, which is very rare.
But his Instagram game is off the chain.
That's the thing, he's become more of a mascot. I mean, Arsenal are laying off Gunnosaurus, so maybe soon should lay off. Because he's just not doing anything on the pitch. I'm surprised Zinchenko has been so far out of the mix this season. There was talk of him being loaned to Barcelona. But for me, Mendy just is not doing it at the moment.
I think you've got rid of I mean, a lot of people don't like Otamendi. A lot of people thought he was useless or he was too rash or whatever. But I think he was really important for City. I really do.
He was important when he was playing alongside a leader. When he was playing alongside Company who would talk him through the game. Great player. When Otamendi has to think independently, he's got issues, and I think that's where they struggle. They need that leadership player to play alongside Otamendi.
I don't think Ake was the man. I thought, like I said, Koulibaly. He was the type of player that you needed.
Presence,
And if you look at your back four, and then you look at Liverpool's back four, like Liverpool's just.
We just conceded 7, so maybe.
Forget that is a freak.
That is a system situation. That's a system, not players.
You got the best back four. You got the best fullbacks. Anyway, it's not about Liverpool now, but you got the best fullbacks. You got the best centre back in the world, Van Dijk. City. If you're going to challenge for that title and you want to win it again, that's where you should focus.
Well, we spoke about it last time. City lack characters now. They don't have leaders. We mentioned previously, Company, Zabaleta, players like that.
Even Yaya Toure,
just winners who were there to drive the team on when the chips were down. Look at the back four and where are the leaders? You know, where are they? Where are the guys that are going to step up? And to be honest, there is a few of them that do need to step up. When Fernandinho's not on the team, like he came on as a sub against Leeds. Rodri's not that player. The guys at the back, not those players.
No, not at all.
Laporte has been talked about as a future captain. I'd like to see him lead a little bit more before that will be a thing for him. But yeah, it's I just think, as mentioned, City are going through a bit of a transition. They're easing out legends year on year. Legends, you've gone from Company to Yaya to Silva. Aguero will be next. The next lot to come through so far have shown nothing to suggest that they can replicate the achievements of the previous guys.
Definitely not.
Well, going to the other end, we've seen Arsenal, you signed Partey, and you actually have probably the best striker in the league right now in Aubameyang. So, I mean, surely you feel bullish going into this game as well. Yeah. And give us some thoughts on Partey.
Yeah, to be fair, I think this Partey signing has been dragging on forever. Like, it's something that we've been trying to do for the longest time. I think the situation at Arsenal is a very strange one, especially money-wise, as we are Instalments FC, if you'd like to call it. I'm pretty sure we would have got party on instalments, but hey, look, if you got to do it, you got to do it, right? But look, Partey brings something more dynamic to our midfield that we haven't had for a long, long time. I'm not going to put any stigmas or any sort of ex-players on that. All I'm going to say is he's a beast. He's an absolute beast. 9 year service at Atletico Madrid. The game that he played against Hughes in the Champions League final was, not the final, the quarter-final it was, wasn't it?
Round of 16, bro.
Was it round of 16? Oh. Just had to get that one in there.
I'm not going to ask you the last time you got the Champions League, but please tell us more.
Fair play. But no, that game he played at Anfield, he was just unreal. Absolutely unreal. I don't think I've seen a player boss a Liverpool midfield in a long, long time. So to get him into our squad is amazing. How that works, time's going to tell. We still have to bleed him in, bleed a couple other people into the squad and see how that balance is going to work.
Bruh, surely you put him in there right now and you say, hey, Nene, I really appreciate it, but sit this one out.
I mean, you'd think so, but at the same time, Arteta plays a specific system, and he's not one to rush players into that system.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd look at your Reece Nelsons and a couple of other really, really good young talents, you'd be thinking, why aren't they playing? Why aren't they getting into the squad? But there's a process that needs to be done. Rest in peace, Mesut Ozil. And that process is not necessarily for everyone.
Does Partey need to fight Ceballos before he gets a start?
They're two completely different players, but I'll tell you what, with what happened with Nketiah, it could look like the gloves are out. But yeah, no, look, getting Partey's great, but there's still a lot more work to do. Aubameyang, great striker. He's no Jamie Vardy, though.
Are you serious?
Yeah, look.
Sorry. Let's just go back here.
I love Vardy.
I
Go
love
back
Vardy.
in.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
You've got 100 million. Which striker are you buying?
Vardy.
Jamie Vardy or Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang?
Well, Vardy's not going to cost you that much in wages, so...
Yeah,
Am I missing something?
No,
here,
I'd
Neil?
go for Vardy.
I mean, look...
Yeah.
I think they're two different players, but it depends. Okay, that's the fence-sitting answer.
Don't sit on the bloody fence.
I would probably take Vardy.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I know that sounds mental, and I'm not trying to get
I'm sat
anything...
with morons.
I'm not trying to get anything go viral or something crazy, but Vardy
He's
is
been
just that
consistent,
good.
hasn't
He's
he?
consistent
Yeah.
every year.
Just
Even through Leicester's
Remember,
transition.
this guy plays left wing.
I mean, does
I'm just saying.
Aubameyang play left?
I'm just saying, if we played him up front and said, "Hey man, go do your thing," and just like sit on the back shoulder of the defender.
But if you put Vardy into City or
Right.
somewhere, he's getting more chances.
Exactly.
If he was playing as the number 9 for City with Aguero out, I reckon he'd have a fun time.
Yeah, I totally agree.
100%.
Fun time. So Aubameyang's been unbelievable, but I don't think he was the kind of player that was never going to be a doubt when he came from Dortmund. He was a player that was always going to fit in because he's got. They talk about the physicality of English football, and it is a bit of a cliche, but he's a big boy. He's well able to look after himself, handle himself. He's strong, and he's an unbelievable finisher. And I think Arsenal have done very, very well out of him.
Yeah.
He's a smashing player. I probably would have liked to see him in England probably 2-3 years earlier than coming as late as he did. But it's been great to watch him, and I think he's a fabulous player. I guess he's probably unfortunate he's come to Arsenal when they were in such a period of transition, because if you had to put him into a team that was challenging for titles, he could be the difference between finishing second and finishing first. The issue he's got at Arsenal is the difference between finishing 8th and 7th.
How sad
You know,
is that?
and that's probably a bit of a disappointing thing for a player his quality. Like he probably deserves better, but at the same time, maybe he wouldn't fit in another team. But yeah, he's a smashing player, no doubt about it.
All right. So what do we think the score's going to be? Starting this way this time.
Yeah, wow, it's a difficult one there.
Can you get a result at the Etihad?
I don't like to tempt fate, Kels. Look, in my heart of hearts, I feel like it's going to be a 2-1 Arsenal win, but my head's probably saying a 2-1 loss.
Yeah, I think
We're
City.
not going to hold you through this, by the way. No one's going to.
I know. I think City. I think City will win. I think City will win comfortably. I think it'll be a 3-1. Yeah.
I'm struck by what you said by saying that City aren't a good team, because I've got this thing where good teams don't lose or drop points 2 games in a row. And so if going on that, and I think City are a good team, I've got City winning.
Yeah.
I say that relative to what they've recent years. They're still a good side. I just don't think they're as daunting a prospect as they have been in recent years. There's a soft shell there, and teams know that if they get at them, they're not as strong as they used to be, and that's why I think Arsenal will score probably 2 goals. I think Arsenal will win 2-1.
Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, and it's not a case of pep out or anything like that. It's just I think there's a bit of transition through the team, and lacking that. If I put it this way, if Aguero was playing, I'd back City to win.
I mean, do you think if there's a do you think that every single team in the Premier League now, not every single team, maybe the top 8, do you think they're all so similar that anyone could finish anywhere? Like City could finish 8th, Everton could finish top. Do you think
I think the difference is depth.
You think it's
depth?
depth?
I think depth is a massive factor between what separates being able to go on a run and stringing results together at the start of the season and then having a drop off. I think that's a massive factor. I think City have so much depth, except as a number 9. Like if you look through the squad, there is a lot of players. There's like-for-like players all over the place. Walker, Cancelo, Mendy, Zinchenko. You've spoken about the centre backs. You've talked about Rodrigo and Fernandinho. There's about 5 creative midfielders. They've got that depth. Whereas if Everton, for example, were to lose Richarlison and James, where's your
Well, you can't bring. There's no Theo Walcott anymore. There's Wobie.
Hey, don't you badmouth the Nigerian hero?
And I think you look at Liverpool's depth as well. You know, adding Jota to it, it's not that big a drop off from your starting front 3 to who's next in line. But again, like my problem with Liverpool against that is that lacking that number 9, the central striker. They haven't had it for years, and I was surprised to see them get rid of Brewster so quickly without giving him a proper run. So I think a lot of teams lack. I don't think there's a massive dearth of quality number 9s in the Premier League, 4 or 5. But it's the same. Even when you're picking your fantasy team and you're looking through who's going to get you goals, you're starting to look down towards your Charlie Austin. You're like 9 week in, week out. Danny Ings,
Jimenez, Ings.
And they're very good players, but at the top teams, you know.
But he didn't do it at Liverpool, did he, Ings? You know.
No. So, and then you've got United scrambling for a Falcao to get somebody in to play that.
Can we spend the next 2 minutes talking about how Manchester United deeply wanted to get themselves a wide player, realised that their defence was up to nothing, and then ended the transfer window signing Edison Cavani? Can we at least just a 1 word each?
I'm surprised, but I'm not shocked. If that makes sense. I'm surprised that they went from Sancho to Cavani, but I'm not shocked about it because Woodward is Woodward. So, I don't think he's the player that they need. I think they've got enough quality in that area. They just, they could have, the 10 million they spend on his wages or whatever it may be, just throw it towards Sancho. It's that big a deal.
I think Cavani would get a game at most Premier League clubs. He'd be the first person on the team sheet. He's going to score you 15 goals. Is it going to improve United? No.
Is he going to start for United?
Well, he's better than Rashford.
Yeah, but Rashford plays out well.
Oh, he does, yeah. I mean, they haven't got anyone, have they?
Martial.
Yeah, he's better than Martial.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just has Falcao written all over it. Just has the same vibe to it.
Yeah, honestly, I think with everything that's going on with Harry Maguire, it's just an absolute calamity. How he's club captain, I've got no clue. So I think they're just looking to outscore teams. It's a calamity. That's all I've got.
Malcolm, I wish you well. Wish you a speedy recovery, bro, so we can talk about this, because I'm sure you're not happy that you signed some players to play from FIFA 2001 to join the team as well, some prospects. But I really love the fact that you had these targets, you set out to get these targets, and on the last day you were literally just went to sort mode, FIFA, free agents. Who's the best available free agent that we can get? Cavani. How much am I going to pay him? He's a Mendes client. We know Mendes. He's all good. Just, again, I might be eating my words in a couple of weeks when he's top goal scorer, but just the idea of we need goals.
Hey, he can pass the ball, man. Edison Cavani can pass the ball.
Yeah. I think it's the sort of thing that 4 or 5 years ago you would have been buzzing for, but then 4 or 5 years ago people cared about United. So it really does kind of show where they're at, and they're signing a Cavani now. they're not signing a Cavani 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah, I think that's just an indictment of where they've dropped off as a club. And oh well.
Long may it continue. That's it for this episode. Thank you all so very much for watching. Malcolm, get safe and get well soon.